Hey everyone, welcome back to Identifying God's Best, our channel where we talk about biblical dating. How do we date and find a spouse in a way that pleases the Lord in accordance to his will? We've got our usuals here. We got Bruce and Hannah. Hey guys.
Hey.
Now we're going to be talking about a lot of fun things today. But first, we just thought, as usual, we'll start with an icebreaker, get to know each other a little better and share things with the viewers that they might not know about us. Today's question is, what is the most awkward gift that you have given or received? Some of us are terrible gift givers. I was thinking, while you guys are thinking, I can go. While I was still dating my now wife, one of the first presents I got her was a cast iron pan. And I was really excited when I gave it to her, but when she opened it, she raised an eyebrow and was like, isn't this a little self-serving? Is this just because you want me to make you steak or something? Isn't this a little domestic? And I was like, whoa, I mean, I just thought you liked cooking. I didn't expect this to be a thing. But it definitely didn't land the way I'd hoped it would. I don't know, do you guys have something in mind?
Yeah, one time someone I was in a relationship with gave me a dress and I was like, oh, I don't think he's ever given me like clothing or anything before. So I opened it up and it was a nice color, I guess. I don't know. I put it on and I'm looking in the mirror in the bathroom and I'm thinking, I look exactly like his mother. His mom had a very distinct way of dressing and it was that, and I dressed very differently. So it was just the type of thing where I kind of wore it while, we were together. And then when we were not, I took that thing off and it went in the back corner of my closet. And, I think I might have like strategically worn it one more time to like something I knew would just be like a small group and, not that many people. And then you just acted like I lost it.
Oh, that's so awkward. That definitely fits the bill. How about you, Bruce?
Probably not as bad as Anna's, but I remember also when my wife and I used to date, one of the very first gifts that I got her was a necklace. But back then I had no understanding of necklace whatsoever. Just, I never wore one and never gifted anyone else a necklace before. So the problem came where I had to determine what size to get her. Now, if you know my wife, she's not, the biggest and the tallest out there. She's a very petite woman. So I just kind of, took my best guess, got her a 20-inch necklace, which resulted when I put it on her, it pretty much like went all the way down, like her chest area is like 20 inches, like super long. It's like, what are you thinking? Like, do I look that huge to you in your eyes? So needless to say, that necklace, she didn't wear it much throughout the entirety of our dating engagement. Not that she didn't appreciate it, it just didn't fit whatsoever. But I made up for it on our honeymoon. I bought her a new chain for the necklace that was the right size.
Nice. So to all you watchers out there, frying pans, dresses, necklaces, know your limits when it comes to giving gifts. This channel is obviously about dating. And if it's a channel about dating, then it's obviously aimed at single people. So biblically, as Christians, what do we think about singleness? Can singleness be a good thing? Bruce, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, I think singleness is a great thing. So even though we are constantly speaking about the joys and the grace of marriage, it does not take away what a tremendous blessing it is to be a single. So I even think back to, for example, 1 Corinthians 10:31, right? Whether you eat or drink, do all things to the glory of God. And that very much so literally applies to your season of singleness, even at this time, no matter how old you are. I think back to when I was single, back when I was in college, in the early years of my college adventures. That was also when I experienced the most spiritual growth, looking back at it, just because of how much availability I had as a single. Not that I'm not growing now or I'm not thankful for my family. I think I'm still growing tremendously. And I love being with my wife and my kids, but it's just different in terms of what you're able to do, first for the Lord, second in thinking about service within the church, And then third, in terms of meeting up with people, there were weeks and days in which literally every single night was packed either with church activity to attend that was really, really excellent, or meeting up with fellow brothers who were pouring into my life and me pouring into other brothers' lives and mutually sharpening one another as iron sharpens iron. I mean, the amount of things that I was able to do as a single was just such a tremendous blessing that I look back to it, that the Lord really blessed me in that season of singleness to shape me into the man that I am, so that, you know, when dating came, I was ready to take on that role as a leader and, you know, not just act as a little boy, you know, who have no idea of what maturity and what fellowship of what serving within the church looks like, but I can be an example to my wife now. So I think it's really exciting. It's that we do not look down upon singleness whatsoever, and we encourage you not to as well. You know, we have this channel to help you, but it's not for you to complain more to your friends. Oh, I'm still single. But to see it as a blessing that you get to use every fiber of your energy and strength in service to the church and to the Lord and building his kingdom. That is a magnificent time in your life that you will never get back if the Lord deems you fit to get you married one day.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you just look at the Christian walk and Christian life as an opportunity to serve, singleness is just a field day of service, and it can be if you really use it for the right reasons and for a way that glorifies the Lord. And like Bruce is saying, like, you know, there's so many opportunities as you're single. You know, you're only looking out for yourself potentially, or, you know, you maybe don't have like the family to kind of support or nurture. You can just get out there and build up your church, different members in your church, produce different content, and just have a field day. And I think it's so exciting to live as a single, just knowing that, you know, God has you in this time for a reason. And there's so many things you can learn during this time. There's so many ways you can be equipped. I think a lot of times women, or at least my friends who have gone into premarital counseling and things like that, they start to read like The Excellent Wife and things like that. And it's like so overwhelming, but there's such an opportunity to learn that kind of thing now. So if you are single and there's like, you know, no one on your horizon and you're just kind of like, why, God, I'm all alone. That's not true. That's not true. You should, you know, just really embrace this time. I was just talking to another girl who lives out of state, and she was kind of like, you know, what do? I don't really know the elders at my church very well. I'm single. I don't, you know, and I'm like, invite a couple other single women over, and then invite your pastor over, or, you know, your other pastor over, and just, you know, just have a field day. And then, you know, I got home and I thought, why am I not doing that? So I got a couple of singles to get together, and next week our pastor's coming over, and it's so fun. You can kind of just do, you know, what the Lord leads you to do, the different opportunities to serve. You can just pick them up and run with them. It's so exciting, and you can kind of see, you know, like God uses different people in the Bible while they're single. Paul was single, and God just used him so mightily. He didn't have the ties of family. Not that those are bad things. Those are a blessing, and God created families for a reason. But man, if you're single, you know, take the bull by the horns. Just, you know, rock this time of life, and not for your own glory, but for the Lord's. And just know that there's so much you can learn now, that if, you know, God does plan for you to get married, you can really build up your character now and just be such a blessing to someone who's your potential spouse. And it's just super exciting too, just knowing that God can bring God's best at any moment, and he might be just around the corner. And just that kind of anticipation, it's such an exciting thing to live with. And it's such an exciting thing to live with, not just that, but, you know, what you might be doing for the rest of your life service-wise. And so, yeah, singleness is extremely exciting and just a great way and opportunity to serve the Lord.
Can I add in one more secret to our listeners? Both within the context of marriage and of singleness, what makes marriage so miserable is when one person is really selfish. And what makes singleness so miserable is when you are also being very selfish. So selfishness is gonna, you know, it's always gonna be the issue and be the dampener within your life, that if you're so focused on yourself, that every stage of life you're in is gonna be miserable. and you're just going to grumble and complain because you're constantly trying to satisfy yourself. But if you learn how to be selfless now as a single, it will go a long way, even in the future as you begin to date. And Lord willing, when you get married to your spouse, it'll make both singleness and marriage such a joy to be in.
Thank you guys both so much. To all our viewers out there, this isn't the end of our content on singleness. We talk about dating all the time, but we also are going to have a bunch of videos and other things on singleness, advice on what to do in this period of time. If we haven't posted it already, check the channel, stay subscribed, like, comment, all those things, so that you can find all this. And to all the singles out there, we'll just repeat what Bruce and Hannah said. Let's seize the moment. Don't be selfish. Take the time for the Lord. And to all our married listeners out there, also an encouragement that, don't stop matchmaking for your friends, obviously, but that's not the end of your help for them. You can also be encouraging them to use this time of singleness well and to treasure it and use it for the Lord. Well, thanks to all our watchers. We'll see you next time.